In November 2018, a 26-year-old American missionary named John Allen Chow made a decision that would cost him his life. He set his sights on North Sentinel Island, a remote patch of land in India's Andaman Islands, home to what's believed to be the last truly isolated tribe on Earth, the North Sentinelese. These islanders live completely cut off from the modern world. They don't know us, our languages, or our technologies, and they clearly don't want to. But John, a devout Christian, felt it was his mission to bring them Jesus, no matter whatever the cost would be. He secretly traveled to a nearby island and bribed a fisherman rupees 25,000, around $300, to take him close to North Sentinel. On the night of November 14th, under cover of darkness to avoid detection by the Indian Coast Guard, they set sail. John carried a GoPro, a kayak, some dried fish, scissors, a football, and a Bible, gifts, he thought, for the tribe. At sunrise the next day, he paddled alone toward the island in his kayak. From a distance he saw a few huts and heard voices. Then 2 men with bows and arrows appeared. He raised his hands in peace and shouted, "My name is John. I love you and Jesus loves you. Here's some fish." The men didn't understand a word and raised their weapons. John panicked and paddled away, but he wasn't done. That same day, he tried again, this time from another side of the island. He saw a group of 6 islanders staring at him, shouting things he couldn't understand. Still, he tried to mimic their sounds and shouted them back. They laughed at him. Undeterred, John dropped his gifts on the beach. A child and a young girl, both armed with bows, stood nearby. John got out of his kayak to talk to them, but in that moment, a tribesman sneaked behind and stole his kayak. Then, thwack, an arrow flew straight at him. Miraculously, it hit the Bible in his chest pocket. Shaken, John swam back to the waiting fishermen. That night in his diary, he poured out his fear. "Lord, is this island Satan's last stronghold? I don't want to die." But despite his terror, John was convinced this was his life's purpose. On November 16th, he wrote a final letter to his family. "You might think I'm crazy, but I think it's worth it to declare Jesus to these people. If I get killed, please don't blame them." That day, he returned to the island for the last time. He never came back. From a distance, the fishermen later saw the islanders burying a body on the beach. From the clothes, he knew it was John. Who are the Sentinelese people? North Sentinel Island is part of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands in the Indian Ocean. Out of 572 islands in this archipelago, only 38 are inhabited, and just 12 are open to tourists. North Sentinel, only 50 kilometers from the capital Port Blair, is strictly off limits. The island is about 60 square kilometers, covered in thick forest. Its people, the North Sentinelese, have likely lived there for tens of thousands of years, untouched by modern civilization. Experts believe they're descendants of early humans who left Africa around 70,000 years ago, settling along the way in places like India, Southeast Asia, and eventually this tiny island. Cut off from the rest of the world for so long, the Sentinelese never learned agriculture. They still live as hunter-gatherers, relying on fishing, fruit, wild animals, and even turtle eggs. In short, they are a Stone Age tribe in the 21st century, and they wanted to stay that way. The first written record of the Andaman Islands comes from 2nd century Roman explorer Claudius Ptolemy, who called them the Islands of Cannibals. Other ancient travelers echoed this, but their claims were vague and not specific to the Sentinelese. In 1771, a British ship saw lights on North Sentinel. Then in 1867, a shipwreck stranded 100 passengers there. They were quickly attacked, but most were rescued. This was the first documented case of Sentinelese hostility. In 1880, British officer Maurice Portman tried to make contact with them. He found a few islanders, an elderly couple and 4 children, and he kidnapped them. But the old couple died quickly, likely from exposure to foreign germs. Horrified, Portman returned the children, but the damage was likely done. Any diseases they carried back could have devastated the tribe. This incident may explain why the tribe now responds with violence. Their bodies have no immunity to modern diseases. modern expeditions, and first contact. Over the decades, Indian anthropologists tried to connect with the tribe. In 1974, a film crew even visited with armed forces and gifts including a live pig. The tribe responded with arrows. They killed the pig and buried it. But in 1991, something unusual happened. Anthropologist Madhumala Chattopadhyay, the first woman to lead such an expedition, approached the island with only coconuts. To everyone's surprise, the tribe accepted them. A Sentinelese woman even stopped a man from shooting arrows at the visitors. It was the only time peaceful contact was made, but it didn't last. Every attempt since has been met with hostility. India's hands-off policy. In 1997, India officially gave up trying to make contact. The government adopted a hands-off, eyes-on policy. Watch from a distance, but leave them alone. After the 2004 tsunami, a helicopter flew over the island to check on the tribe's safety. The people responded by shooting arrows at it, proving they were alive and well. In 2006, 2 fishermen accidentally drifted too close. They were killed. To protect both outsiders and the tribe, India established a 5 kilometers exclusion zone around the island. What we know about them: we've never talked to a Sentinelese person, but based on John's diary, videos, and a few brief encounters, here's what we know. They're short in height between 5'3" inches and 5'5". They have dark, shiny skin and muscular builds. They wear no clothes but use fiber bands around their heads, necks, and waists. They use simple weapons: bows, arrows, and spears, some now tipped with metal from an old shipwreck. They live in 2 types of huts, small ones for families and larger ones for groups. Their boats are narrow dugout canoes, barely wide enough for 1 person. They don't show curiosity about the outside world. Even nearby islands, just 36 kilometers away, have never attracted their interest. They bury their dead on the beach. Contrary to old myths, there's no evidence they are cannibals. Estimates suggest their population is between 50 and 500. It's hard to say for sure, but one thing is clear: they live in harmony with nature. They don't overhunt, they don't destroy their forest. And somehow, they've sustained their small community for thousands of years without any help from the outside world. There's a heated debate. Should we leave them alone or try to help them? Some say they deserve modern medicine, tools, and religion. Others argue they've made their choice, they want no contact. And if we respect their right to exist in peace, perhaps we can learn from them instead. Because maybe the most advanced thing they've done is knowing when to say no. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating and informative stories from around the world.